Listen, in 2025, everyone's trying to sell you the secret to success. Your YouTube feed is probably flooded with gurus telling you to buy real estate, invest in crypto, or start dropshipping. But here's the thing, most of that advice is complete BS, especially if you're young and starting from zero like I was. I went from a 16-year-old kid with no connections and no money to running 2 online businesses by 21. And I'm not telling you this as to flex, I'm telling you this because the books I'm about to share completely changed how I think about success, money, and life in general. But before I dive in, I want you to understand that this isn't just here's another book recommendations video. These are books that build on each other. They're a complete system that rewired my brain for success, and I'm going to share to you exactly how they work together. Let's start with the book that changed everything for me. Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Now, I know the name sounds weird as hell, but stick with me here. This book tackles the one thing holding most people back, their self-image. Maltz was a plastic surgeon who noticed something pretty crazy. He performed surgery on people, completely transforming their appearance, but many of them still felt the same on the inside. That's when I realized something that completely changed my mindset. Success isn't about external stuff, your appearance or materials. It's about how you see yourself on the inside. Think about it like this. I used to be a kid who wouldn't try anything new, whether it was food, sports, or whatever. My dad would get so frustrated and say, how do you know you won't like it if you never try? Looking back, that same fear was stopping me from starting my online businesses. I kept telling myself I was too young and I didn't know enough and didn't have the right connections. But this is what's actually wild. Once I understood how self-image works, everything changed. Maltz explains that your brain is basically like a heat-seeking missile. Whatever target you give it, success or failure, it'll find a way to hit it. So if you keep telling yourself you can't build successful businesses because you're young or broke, guess what? Your brain will make that true. I see this all the time with kids that I meet that are my age. They're stuck at jobs they hate or in college programs that they don't care about because they can't see themselves doing anything else. It's not that they can't succeed, it's that they can't see themselves succeeding. So this leads me to the next book that completely changed the game for me. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Isn't this some old corporate book? That's exactly what I thought, but trust me, this book is a little bit different. I like to think of it this way. If Psycho-Cybernetics helps you reprogram your brain, then the 7 Habits gives you the operating system to run on. It's not just motivational BS, it's a complete framework for getting shit done. The habit that hit me the hardest was begin with the end in mind. When I first started my online business journey, I was just throwing stuff at the wall to see what stuck. But this principle taught me to reverse engineer success. Take my personal brand, for example, and content creation. Instead of posting random content and hoping to get clients, I'm now focusing on the end goal and working backwards. But here's where it gets interesting. Once you understand yourself and have a framework for action, you need to understand other people. That's where the Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene comes in. This book is like having a cheat code for life. This book completely changed how I look at people and approach conversations. Greene breaks down why people do what they do, and once you understand this, everything changes. Like, you know how sometimes you'll be in a meeting or in a negotiation or just simply in a conversation and something feels off, but you can't put your finger on it? This book teaches you to be able to read between the lines. I'll give you a real example. When I first started getting on meetings through Zoom, I'd worry about charging too much, worry about what people would think, but after reading Greene's work, I started seeing the deeper patterns. People don't just buy services, they buy confidence. They buy certainty, they buy status. Understanding this changed everything about how I position my businesses. Now this brings me to one of my personal favorites out of this whole selection of books. Your Next 5 Moves by Patrick Bet-David. This book is like learning to play chess while everyone else is playing checkers. PBD teaches you to think several moves ahead in business and in life. And trust me, when you're young and you're building a business or just starting out, you need this skill more than anyone else. Most people our ages are just reacting to whatever's happening right now. They see someone making money on AI, they jump into AI. They see someone killing it with e-commerce and they simply jump into that. But here's what they miss. By the time they notice a trend, you're already too late to the party. Instead, PBD teaches you to spot patterns before they become obvious. Like right now, everyone's freaking out about AI taking their jobs. But if you're thinking 5 moves ahead, you're not worried about AI replacing you. You're currently trying to figure out how to position yourself to benefit from this shift by using AI to build leverage. And this is actually where most people get stuck. but they understand the theory, but they struggle with the implementation. That's why Alex Hormozi's books, $100 million leads and offers, are absolutely game changers. Hormozi's books are different because they're not just theory, they're pure implementation. While everyone else is out there giving you a vague advice like provide value or build your personal brand, Hormozi breaks down exactly how to create offers that people actually want to buy. I remember when I first read these books, it was like somebody finally turned on the lights. Everything I learned about self-image, human nature, and strategic thinking suddenly had a practical outlet. Hormozi shows you how to take all these concepts and turn them into real money. But here's what most people actually miss about Hormozi's books. It's not just about marketing tactics. It's about understanding the true value creation at a deeper level. Like everyone thinks they need to lower their prices to compete, but Hormozi shows you to structure your offers so price becomes secondary to value. And this leads me to the last book, but trust me, this book is crucial. Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Now, I know this book looks intimidating, it's thick, and it's written by a Nobel Prize winner, and it's not your typical business book. But here's the real reason why you need to read it. Kahneman breaks down how people actually make decisions, not how they say they make decisions, but how they really make them. You know how sometimes you make decisions that you know aren't actually logical, but you make them anyway? Or you'll spend hours researching a $100 purchase, but make a $1,000 purchase in just seconds? This book explains why, and more importantly, how to use this understanding to make better decisions. But what actually makes these books different is when you use them all together. Imagine you're about to launch a new offer or scale your business. Most people would just jump in and hope for the best. But with these principles working together, everything changes. Your self-image work with Psycho-Cybernetics means you're not just second guessing yourself or your prices. The 7 habits keeps you focused on your end goal instead of getting distracted by short-term problems. Green's insight helps you read the market and understand what people really want. PBD's strategic thinking helps you potentially see obstacles before they even happen. Hormozi's frameworks help you structure everything into an offer that actually sells. And Kahneman's work helps you present it in a way that aligns with how people actually make decisions. It's not about memorizing concepts from each book. It's about how they work together to create a complete system for success. Each book fills a gap that others leave. Each principle reinforces the others. But before I wrap up this video, here's what I actually want you to understand. That success in 2025 isn't about working harder than everyone else. It's about thinking differently than everyone else. While most people are out there looking for quick fixes and magic bullets, you now have a complete framework for real success.